Welcome back to more crystal readings. Just noticing which crystal pulls your focus visually, feeling the energy accumulating in your heart center, moving up and out through your eyes, sending energy into one of the crystals. Your energy may spill over into more than one, so you may want to watch this video straight through and see what messages come in for you, or go right to the timestamp after tuning into the crystal. They'll be in the comments as well as the description, the timestamps. On the left we have black kyanite, in the middle we have a rough moonstone, and on the right we have a Druzy agate. All right, let's get started. Hi there to those of you that chose the black kyanite. This is really cool piece. Very delicate with all those little blades. Okay, so tuning in. I'm starting to feel, I felt my head wanting to come forward into present position, and then energy moving down to ground. I noticed how it wants to get stuck and stopped in the sacral chakra, and I felt like the black kyanite almost insisted that it went down, ground. So maybe there is some disruption in the energetic flow in the sacral chakra. I mean, that's true for me. Sometimes my system can be used as a divination tool as well. So maybe that's true for you as well. Maybe you're noticing you're coming out of alignment in certain ways, right? And when the sacral is out of alignment, it affects the heart, right? So they're connected. So just, I noticed that subtly the energy wanted to go down and connect down. So maybe you're also grounding something down. Looking at roots, looking at your roots. What are you really committed to? Where are you really sending your energy, right? Where are you really committed to investing your time and energy? And where are those patterns maybe in your family system, maybe even as recent as parents, where you were taught where to invest your energy? There's some decluttering of the energy field happening. Clearing away maybe just some debris that's not yours that maybe you've collected, but also of burdens. So what are appearing like some chunks of rock, even some things that are weighing heavy. We're clearing this. Clearing it out, right? It's funny. The kyanite is sort of like, you know, a broom or a fan, right? It can be shaped. It's shaped that way, so it can be reminiscent of sort of sweeping things out, fanning some debris out. And a brand new, fresh outlook, fresh start of some kind. A balancing happening as you align, as you invest your energy in other ways. Really committing to where you're investing your energy. Maybe you've made some bad agreements about where you're going to put your focus and attention. These are valuable resources, valuable limited resources. Maybe it's also about where you're investing money too. Getting really decisive and discerning here. Really grounding down and what Are you really investing in what you value, right? And what are you valuing? And maybe you're getting really clear here, like, oh, some of these patterns aren't even mine. It's from the family system or some other system that you're a part of, right? Some things are clearing out. Really getting to know yourself on a deeper level, becoming much more aware. And this is opening up new opportunities in relationship. You might be reconnecting with people, right? You might be reaching out to people where there's been a lot of silence, a lot of distance, because things are balancing. And it balances out the relationship. So if you've been kind of out of whack, so you've been overgiving, it kind of balance back. It might be, you might notice you're balancing back and aligning, and other people can come forward. They don't need to be so distant because there's not this heavy, compulsive giving, right? You're balancing out, and maybe that's part of this pattern that you're clearing out. Which not only is lightening your load, but it's bringing balance in relationship. It's making the relationship not so heavy, right? Not asking the relationship to bear this heaviness as well. You maybe it clicked, like, this is my responsibility. I have to be accountable here for what I'm carrying. I can't just say, well, I'm carrying it, so you have to carry it too, or something of the like, right? I can actually release this. It's time, or now that I'm aware of it, I can make a shift here, either blow it up in my mind, right? Or feel it being unburdened and lifted up to a higher power, to be recycled, right? Or giving it to Mother Earth as it grounds down, because it does, I do feel a movement down here, right? Going back into the family system to be reabsorbed. If we're weighed down so heavy that we're drifting back, we feel the gravity pulling us back into the ancestors, that's a burden to them. They want to flow forward into the future. The life force energy wants to flow forward through us to the future. So it's important that we align here so that we're able to bring our gifts into the future. So notice where maybe you're coming out of alignment here. Is it in your root system, right? Because the energy wants to go down. It wants to be rooted. It wants to be grounded. Is there a disruption? Notice that. Also, is there an investment that's being made here that isn't working and no longer, it's outdated? It maybe started in another lifetime or with a different ancestor. And, now that I'm aware of it, it actually doesn't work here. So I'm going to renegotiate this, or break up this contract, whatever I need to do. And part of this might have been this unspoken agreement where I will carry things that aren't mine, right? Okay, sure. Oh, you have some irrational thoughts. Sure, bring it right on into my energy field. Oh, you're experiencing some physical pain. Sure, I'll feel it in my shoulder too, right? Or you have a deep sadness that you don't know how to manage. Sure, I'll take it here, right? So it might be some of these unspoken things, these agreements. We can burn up these contracts. They don't make sense. They're not valid. Sorry, it's expired, right? No, sorry, it no longer works. I don't remember signing on the dotted line here. So you can burn that up. It's no longer legally binding, right? And speaking of binding, notice where you're binding the charge, right? Are you rolling your tailbone back to disrupt the flow of energy, right? I love to do that for some reason. It's important to ground down, make peace with your roots, your ancestors, your family system, your place of birth, whatever it is. Are you a country girl who actually wants to be a big city girl or something of the like, right? And it's this running away from your roots, running away from your past instead of embracing them. How can we own more of who we really are so that we can bring more of ourselves to the future, to the place we want to be, so that we're not running from something, but we're actually grounding and rooting, and really able to make progress and have success in that new location. I hope that was helpful. I hope there was medicine in there, maybe magic. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. It was kind of a mini healing session. As I said, my relationship to the crystals and what we're doing here is shifting. I hope that's helpful and useful to you and valuable. Check out the other crystals to see if there's information there for you as well. If you want a personal reading session or to donate to the channel, those links are in the description. Also, I'm continuing to build for Patreon. I'll make a big announcement when I'm ready to launch there. All right. So stay tuned for that. I will see you in the next one. Hi there to those of you that chose the Moonstone. Probably weren't able to see the glow. It wasn't quite as beautiful in that image, but in a video, there we go, we focused it. There's also some tourmaline bound in there as well. Really nice little piece. Let's tune in and see what the message may be. First thing I notice, my shoulders want to go down. Shoulders want to go down, and in sort of a radiant white beam of light wants to travel up and out and sort of fan out, up from the crown. Putting feelers out there. That's what it feels like, putting feelers out there. Connecting to intuition. Perhaps something, a synchronicity was so, stood out so intensely, or something really jarring happened and it woke you up. Interesting when that happens, where something on the spiritual plane helps us ground down more. Right? Sometimes crystals have indirect influence, and a crystal that might be, the properties listed may be helpful in meditation, connecting to your intuition, might have a grounding influence because you needed to hear some kind of message about the importance of being embodied, right? So, or see a synchronicity outside of you that connected you to a part that can embody, right? So an indirect communication is very yin feminine energy, isn't it? As the Moonstone is a very feminine yin stone connected to the moon, the essence of the moon, the influence of the moon. So maybe there is this message you've received from the outside world that reminded you to embody, that reminded you the importance of being present to your family, your friends, those that you love. Something outside of you, an event, right? Sometimes an event can organize the energy of a family system or any system into a wound, into a trauma in the system, and shift the relationships, and shift the generations moving forward, right? Have this lasting effect in the system. And sometimes it can be a gift. It can be an awakening. It can be an illumination of some kind. So creative expression, when you can express. So anytime we're encouraged into silence, shame, guilt, holding it in, it can create this lasting trauma and message in the system that it's not okay to speak up. It's not okay. It's not safe. It's not safe for you to express. It's not safe for you to even be who you are. And Moonstone is, you know, relaying the message that it is safe to be who you are. Will everyone agree? No, but it's safe. It's safe for you to be who you are. It's safe for you to express. There might be some residual effect from the family system where you were born into with this understanding that it's safer to be silent. It could also be past life related, but the energy of the family system has the strongest influence. Much of the time, right? Most of the time, there might be this message, and it could be further anchored in with a vow of silence or fear of persecution coming in from a past life or in the collective, right? You might be coming into this understanding that embodying more of who you really are. Oh, this is who I am. Feeling more comfortable in that sense of self that may have been lost, that may have been really inside out in your relationship, right? Maybe you just felt your relationships with others informed who you were more than who you really are, who is residing here. And maybe your spiritual practice has helped inform that too. Maybe you had a recent breakthrough, either from the outside, a synchronicity that you couldn't ignore, or internally. Internally, there was an epiphany, an awakening, an illumination. All of a sudden, this compartmentalization of different parts of you connected, integrated. And now it's less of this polar push and pull, polar opposites or polarization of parts, and it's more integrated. So it's less like I'm this person in these instances and I show up this way in these instances. It's more intertwined, it's more integrated. You're feeling more whole, more who you really are. It's that sense. Part of this is strengthening this connection to a higher power. You're really connected, at least as of now. This synchronicity might have illuminated something for you and you just really understood. It could have been through contrast, is my point, through this whole thing. It could have been through, right, much like being more in touch with our intuition, that it's always there. We don't have to reach up for it, which is why the shoulders might come up. It's always there. It's always accessible. That connection, some information might come in that helps us realize, helps us self-actualize in the realization that it's so important to be embodied and it's safe to do so. Much like something on the outside that might tempt other people into despair or into doubt around a higher power or co-creative force that they've been working with. You might have had an experience of it going away at one point where are you? And that contrast helped you realize how much you have been guided, how deep your connection really is. And sometimes we need those moments of contrast, right? Or indirect messages, indirect communication or information to help us really understand how connected we really are, both internally and to a higher power and to the people around us. And I feel like your awareness of all of this came to another level recently. And there's more comfort in being here on this plane, present in your body. Because you got that reminder through the contrast that there's been a guiding force all along. Something disrupts that and helps you wake up to the realization of it, right? So I hope there was something in there that connected, that resonated. I hope there was some medicine. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the other crystals to see if those messages resonate. Let me know in the comments if I can see how these messages, these readings are transforming. It's turning into more like maybe a healing message experience. That's what might want to transition into. I hope that you're open to that. I hope that this was helpful and valuable to you in some way. Thanks for liking the video. Subscribe to the channel. That's valuable to me. Helps us give and take, right? I also, I'm still building for Patreon, so that this can really be a reciprocal relationship. And I'll let you know when I'm really launching there. I have other ideas brewing, and if you want a personal session or reading or to donate to the channel, thank you so much for doing so. It helps keep me going. All the links you'll ever need are in the description of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Hi to those of you that chose the Druzy Agate. If it focuses for a second. It's a little bit polished here, and then it's in the rough part, right? Still in the rough outer stone. It's really beautiful. Sorry if that's annoying you. I just really wanted you to see that Druze. It's really pretty. Looks like lace, right? White agate. So let's tune in and see what's coming in for the messages or the reading for the Druzy white agate. Well, it's sending, so it's first of all sending diamond shaped like sparkle energy into my aura, helping to vibrate or bring vitality. So maybe you need a boost of vitality, and maybe a lack of vitality is creating slower thought process, right? So maybe you're thinking more slowly, and you're noticing a correlation of how you feel your body, your rest, right? You're noticing what keeps your brain functioning optimally, and maybe that's something you're really valuing right now because you're doing a lot of mental work and mental processing. Maybe you are processing something mentally right now, and it's a lot. Maybe you have a long to-do list, and the idea of managing all of it is creating anxiety. And maybe you don't need to look at all of the to-do list. Maybe you can prioritize. Make it organized so that your brain can look at it and see doable projects. Have a to-do list where you check off. Maybe even get stickers of stars, and every time you accomplish something, reward yourself with a star sticker, right? If that speaks to you. I know the student in me loves that idea. Gold star, I accomplished something. Just rewarding yourself for, because we're shifting out of self-punishment here. I guess is the idea. We're shifting out of self-punishment. You like to look at all the things you haven't done and punish. And maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's an inner behavioral psychologist, a part of you that knows there's a better way here, there's a better approach. When I accomplished something that I needed to do, a reward might be better been punishing myself for all the things that I haven't done yet, because that list is ongoing and I keep adding to it. So a better approach might be giving yourself a star. Buying a new crystal, giving yourself a trophy, I don't know, a certificate of accomplishment and achievement. Just finding ways to reward yourself in a way that speaks to you, right? That's still healthy, and right, because I used to reward myself with food, and it compounded the problem, right? So it just added to my issues. It didn't really, even though that felt like a great reward, there's a lot of pleasure in that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12:34 is on my clock right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're ascending here. There's a better way. You're finding better ways. The clouds are parting. I couldn't think of the word. Speaking of mental process, the clouds are parting. There's some clarity here. There's more clarity. You're noticing the patterns that you've implemented that are healthy, that are helping you find success and achieve your goals. And that a healthy lifestyle is what it takes. It's not just looking at nutrition. It's not just looking at your thoughts. It's not just looking at your to-do list. It's not just achievement. These things are working together, and the mind-body's working together too. And it's telling you there's a better way here. Reward yourself, celebrate success, celebrate achievements, think clearly about things, strategize, right? Break things down into actionable steps, and don't overwhelm yourself and beat yourself up for the things that have not yet been achieved, because that list is never ending. You'll always find another thing, right? There will always be, that might be part of your personality too. There's always the next thing you want to learn, the next thing you want to do. I relate hardcore. There's always the next thing, and you get frustrated because there's not enough hours in the day. There's not enough vitality to distribute. There's not enough attention. I'm just one person, one focus. Here I am trying to manage relationships. I'm trying to manage carrying a successful business, trying to earn enough money, right? To get to where I want to go and to pay all my bills, right? And just, all these things I feel like I have to manage. How will you prioritize? What is your value system? And you'll know by what is a non-negotiable. What do you get done no matter what? That's where you're committed to right now. What do you always follow through with? What are the things that they can go by the wayside if needed, right? Or I ignore that. I ignore that completely. So noticing how you're prioritizing here. Is that in alignment with your values? Is that in alignment with how you feel about, is that in alignment with are you operating in integrity here, basically? What are you prioritizing? How can you break down all the things you want to achieve and accomplish in actionable, smaller steps so they're digestible? Mind is related to the gut. So when we say digestible, we can be talking about food. We can be talking about holding things in our mind, right? So there's a connection there then of what you're fueling your body with and how your mind is functioning. So you want to consider that. Think about that. Is that clear? Are you a clear channel and are you able to maintain and sustain the vitality to follow through in all of these projects you have lined up? Are there pending projects? How are you going to prioritize? And believe in yourself, because, the person that signed up for all these things was in a certain state of mind, right? Did you put things on your calendar and schedule based on this awareness of the limitations of what you can digest? Or were you coming from a place of not enough, I need this, right? It's so easy. That's how marketing takes place, isn't it? It's create the problem, here's the solution, and you can't live without it. And so was that how you created your to-do list as well? This not enough. I overgive. I overspend. I overspend. I overcommit my time. And then I can't live up to my promise, and then my word loses value, and I lose respect to myself. And see how there's this chain reaction. Well, let's nip it in the bud and get back to the source. What do you value? What do you prioritize? What is your goal that you're aiming for, and what steps will get you there? Anything extraneous that happens in your free time, that becomes hobby, that becomes, right? What are the main relationships that really, that require your time, your presence, your attention, your energy, your energetic investment? Those need to be prioritized as well. And what does that look like for the other person? You can streamline that process. What does love feel like and look like to them? Then you're not just doing and doing and doing things that don't work, right? That they don't feel loved anyway. Here I am hauling the garbage and, making things shine like a dime. And they're like, but that doesn't make me feel loved. So you're not even accomplishing the goal. So just get really clear here. And notice how you're fueling your body, because that's how you're fueling your mind. And your mind wants to think clearer right now. There's a breakthrough here. You're ascending to the next level here. You want to be able to maintain that threshold. So think about how you're fueling yourself. What makes you feel good? May even want to look to a nutritionist to really ask, where is there a deficiency here? I know that I had to look at that when I was feeling more anxiety than normal. I had to look at my B6 intake. And I've worked with a nutritionist in the past just to make sure I'm functioning optimally, right? And then I'm getting all my nutrients in, all my vitamins and minerals. And so you might want to look for that, for someone that's a good match there, to really match you with the best way to fuel your individual unique system, someone that specializes in that. And you might find you start flying through some of these things on your to-do list, because you're able to hold them in your mind differently. Your mind is functioning optimally. You're not wasting so much time overthinking, perhaps. Your mind is really getting sharp here. You might notice that, or that's where it wants to go. So maybe look at how you're fueling it. This mind-body connection is so important, isn't it? I hope that was medicine. I hope there was something useful in there for you. Check out the other crystals to see if there's medicine there for you. These are shifting into, I guess, a bit of healing as well as crystal messages, things like that. So I hope that's still a value to you. Thanks for tuning in. If you let me know if it resonated in the comments first, so that I know that I'm on the right track here. Thanks for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. That's a value to me. Check out the other crystal readings, see if there's information. If you want a personal session or reading, or to donate to the channel, that is really valuable to me. Helps keep me going, keeps this a reciprocal relationship. Those links will be in the description. I also continue to build on Patreon, and once that's launched, I'll announce it. I have big ideas brewing, so I'll let you know here or any of the videos on my channel when that's done. If you want to reach out, keep in touch, info@urbanempath.com is my email address. And have a beautiful, magical day. I will see you in the next one.